The keynote speaker is coming from ABB, Matti Kauhanen. Matti Kauhanen is working as a head of research and development in drives and controls at the business unit at ABB. Matti has a long history of working within drives. He joined already the Strömberg company, which is the predecessor of ABB in Finland. He joined Strömberg year 1984, and since then he has held various positions within the company in the areas of research and development as a design engineer, AC drive specialist, design manager, technical manager, project manager, R&D manager, as well as technology manager. So he has done a lot of things. And since 2000, Matti has been responsible for technology and platform development for various products. Matti is also a strong collaborator between the industry and university, and that's why we are proud to invite him today to this EPE 2014 keynote presentation. So, Matti, I think that the stage is yours. You can have 25 minutes and some discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Juha. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to EPE 2014 conference to Lappeenranta also from my side. As Juha explained already, I have the long background in the drives development, about the 30 years. Starting the first years, the company was called Strömberg, and today, of course, it's ABB. So my presentation has a lot of details, and we're not going to go through all those, but I try to create an overview about what are the advancement in technology and what are the impacts for the mainly from industry perspective as well. Of course, when we are now in Finland, we are and that's also look what is the perspective from Finland side. And so we start something, look the ABB, and then we look the technology trends, and then we can look some of the achievements, and then going finally some statistic and then conclusions. So if we look the ABB, it's a leader, global leader in power and automation technologies. Consists of the 5 different divisions. One is power products, power systems, discrete automation and motion, low voltage product and process automation. And the drives business is part of this division. And globally there is 145,000 employers, presence more than 100 countries, and the revenue is $42 billion. And the roots of the ABB are from this company, Brown Boveri, and Swedish company ASEA. And as well because ASEA bought Strömberg just before ABB was founded, then the Strömberg has, in a way, the ABB roots are as well in Finland via Strömberg. And then maybe some interesting thing that how much ABB is investing for research and development. It's a 1.5 billion annually, and about 8,000 scientists and engineers are working to make this happen. And there are a lot of collaboration with the universities, more than 70 universities globally. And really, where I'm coming, it's what we are talking today. We are talking more about the drives technology. So divisions are split in the business units, and one of the business unit is drives and controls, and then there are various products. there's also remind you that the celebration of the Strömberg 125 years. So the company, also the roots in Finland has been quite long. And if you look to ABB today in Finland, it's about a bit more than 5,000 employers. And for R&D also invested 800 engineers and scientists are working in Finland. And the investment is a bit less than 200 million euros annually. So if we then go towards the technology and we maybe should understand first that what are the mega trends globally which are influencing, and really there are some important. Green economy, energy saving is one of the, has been already. Digitalization is which has definitely big impact, is coming. And then there are of course urbanization, transport and mobility and electrification and resource economics. This is boosting then the different opportunities for the growth. There are DC technology, data centers, smart grid, oil and gas, renewables is one of the big thing and so on. And then finally, that make it happen, there are coming certain requirements for technology development as well, the research and science to, and then we can look energy efficiency, footprint, integration, connectivity, safety, controllability, reliability, power quality, and of course whatever we are doing when there is always competition, so the solutions must be competitiveness as well is important. Looking, that was the general thing, trends and from power electronics point of view. Coming closer to the drives technology and what has happened during the years. So of course, when we are talking about drives and variable speed drives, why we use variable speed, why we need the control. There are some basic elements. There are the way to increase the production quality or process quality. There are energy savings. In some cases, you can make the smooth starting of the equipment. Some loads are very sensitive for the torque spikes and so on. So that has caused that there was the clear trend from certain older variable speed drives technologies towards the AC drives, variable speed drives where we use the frequency converters. So in the past, where the speed control was needed, there was a lot of all type of solutions, and of course the DC drives has been before that the most commonly used technology. Today there are still DC drives exist and remains, although the market is shrinking. And the things what has enabled this development, that is that there has been development of the power semiconductors from fast thyristors to gate turn-off thyristors towards the power transistors, finally insulated gate bipolar transistor technology. And as well, there has been that this possible, there must be also the electronics and microprocessor technology development from the analog control coming from microcontrollers and then digital processors and then FPGA circuits and so on towards the single chip solutions. So, and what is today, what we see that most of these power semiconductors has been based as a silicon as a material, but we can see already that wide bandgap materials and devices are coming, and this is one of the element which enables the maybe new revolution in the power electronics. Looking from control point of view, there has been also the great development from first thing, the scalar control to vector control, direct torque control, the sensorless control, and today a lot of control development has been contributed by the scientists, which has been enabling that variable speed drives today has the servo performance. So the difference between servo drives and typical variable speed drives has disappeared practically. And then one big thing which has been boosting the market is that the energy saving from direct online things moving to the variable speed drives, where the first step was to get the systems into system efficiency step change. If we think about the pump and fans drives, instead of throttle control, we use variable speed drives. There is a remarkable savings in the energy. Then what has come then is the motor efficiency improvements, new motor technologies, improvements also in the induction machines. Of course, there has been a lot of help by this type of simulation tools and design tools development, so we can optimize the things, and of course the material knowledge and improvements. Converter efficiency improvement, which are now in the pipeline, that has been also the standardization work is driving this. And then also what is coming, because there are more computing power in the converters, the process efficiency can be also optimized utilizing the frequency converter intelligence and the signals. So if it dive in a bit deeper into what is this modern frequency converter or variable speed drives, we have to understand that it's a multi-technology device. So we easily think about that, okay, there is a power electronics components and some main circuit topology and maybe some control. But today, if I'm honest, to make the product on the market, you need also much more. There is electronics playing key role. The other software than the control has coming will have much more role in the future. There is this human system interface, user interfaces, communication and information access. There are, of course, to integrate it to automation system with field bus technology, but that also is not anymore enough. There is seen that the coming the industrial internet and that enables a lot of the services around, which is utilizing the cloud technology, and this part will has a big impact. But of course, to make the reliable and products which can compete on the market, you need also the mechanics and material knowledge, as well the cooling. And of course, power electronics has been the key thing, and will remain, of course, but there are also other things to be considered. Then when we make the technology development and selections, what are the important for the research and development for the future? We have to think about that whatever we are doing, it should bring for the customers or users more value. So that is there might be a lot of good ideas, what we call technology push, but that must also to be aligned with the market pull. And there is the understanding what customers and processes and what are the problems. So that's the key thing. And then list easily comes quite long because this was the multi-technology device. So of course there has been the driving, which has been driving this thing is the improved reliability and reduced cost and size development. And as well the energy efficiency has coming up. And then of course that the easiness that it's easy to use, easy to maintain, easy to commissioning, easy to engineer. And of course the control, the one of the big trends for the control is the plug-in control or the robust controls. It should be easy, and because there are coming new motor technologies. If you look at the past, the induction machine was the mostly used motor with the variable speed or with the frequency converters. Today, synchronous machines has already come, and this will continue. And there are different type of synchronous machines. There are interior permanent magnet machines. There are permanent magnet machines where the magnets are on the surface of the rotor. There are synchronous reluctance motors. So this has been challenging also the control development. Especially we want to make it the plug-in control sensorless way. And then, of course, the easy configuration for different applications. And also we have one of the big trends we understand that functional safety, because of the standardization work, has been becoming part of the functionality. So looking how the cost and size development or what has happened. I have some examples of the ABB and Strömberg development. So it was the 11 kilowatt AC drive, and how we could see that this is a logarithmic scale, and this is the linear how the years go. So it is almost has been a direct line, but the question marks whether that this must be bending somewhere from the practical reasons. It's not maybe practical anymore. Maybe the wide bandgap devices and cooling technologies might enable it, but that is to be seen. So it has been helping the Moore's law. The electronics is getting more compact. The power semiconductors are getting smaller. Software is taking more functions. Integration of the components. Material technology, and then of course design and simulation tools development. These all, there might be also others, but that may be the main drivers for that. And then here is some practical examples that also in the products that how the, for example, power density has from 85 to going up to today, and there, of course, to bit the integrating in the cabinet system drives level, you get the smaller cabinet builds, and you could see also in the cost development the trend. So, and looking then what makes this happen is that there is this Moore's law. So size of the control electronics is getting smaller, and it's more integrated. So here are some examples of the analog control when it's going replaced by digital control. And then today we can find a lot of microprocessors where all the things what you needed, including the communication, is integrated into one chip. And of course, but another aspect is that functionality has been also same time increased. There are more functions we implement by drives. So there are application control, part of the PLC functions, increased diagnostics, the communication, and so on. And then, of course, the size and cost in the control as well has come down, and the control and communication performance has increased. As I said, we are into server performance. And how I could see the future, so we are going more towards that we embedded more to communication, enabling this, that all the frequency converters are connected to the cloud and make this Industry 4.0 and an industrial Ethernet in reality, and as well this enables the new business models and new services built in. And another thing is this embedded functional safety features. And then also mentioned earlier, maybe looked a bit deeper, this that software will have the much bigger role in the future when we are talking about frequency converters and AC drives. More and more functionality implemented with software and the new functions. Proactive diagnostic condition monitoring of the drivetrain. So there could be that we can use the computing performance or capacity for also to monitor the frequency converter motor and the load and then build the remote services. And then this enables the optimization of the life cycle cost of the application. And then connectivity, wired and wireless, and then utilization of the mobile devices, phones and tablets and so on. And then one thing, the customer experience. So we have to make it easier. So interactive user interfaces. So we could see that during the years there has been development which has been increasing the customer values as technology is going up. So there are the various products where the size of the software has been growing and bringing the more customer values. So if we look then, the other important element for this drives business is of course the power semiconductor, and looking the silicon-based IGBT transistor, that what has happened. So the footprint has come down, and at the same time the current density has been increased, and now looks like that we are finally saturating. It's not easy to anymore improve it. So natural step then would be to go for silicon carbide, which is one of those wide bandgap of materials and devices. And then that has already happened. Not fully in the drives business, what is the commercial situation, but there are more and more coming new product based on silicon carbide. And also looking how the total loss development has, although the size of the IGBT chip has reduced, the losses has come down also. That there is a technology, remarkable technology development also with the silicon during these years. And then all these things, so lower losses, higher maximum junction temperatures, which can be used, which is one enabler. But as well, what has been improved also for the cyclic loads, the temperature variation, and then the faster fitting with the lower losses. And then all this development is pushing the more, and especially when the silicon carbide technology is coming, that the packages, how you are packaging the IGBT chips, there is the big challenge to improve it from the reliability point of view as well for the lower inductivity to enable the faster fittings, especially enabling the the use of the wide bandgap devices. And there are different technologies, sintering and improved soldering, copper bond vials, and so on. Also, the double-side cooling has been presented. And there are also for the lower inductivity, there is a layout optimization, laminated structures, and so on. And here also the simulation and computer tools has been the great help and development of those. Few words about the wide bandgap devices. So they are the new materials which enables the features are clearly higher blocking voltage, faster fitting commutation, and as well the higher temperature, enabling from converter point of view higher efficiency, harsh power, higher power density, as well the harsh environment solutions because of the higher temperature behavior. And they are already on the market, especially in the photovoltaic inverters, in the power supplies, and partly also in the motor drives. And this technology is now ramping up. And there are different devices. Maybe the most important thing is, from active divide point of view, the MOSFET-based silicon carbide devices currently. Another element to improve the power electronics and then the converters is the magnetics. Magnetics are the one element for the passive components. We still need the passive components. So there has been also the stepwise changes because of the material knowledge, different core materials, design methods. There are certain business drivers which has made this happen, especially with the new applications like wind, solar, but as well the number of the low harmonic drives and 4-quadra drives is increasing. And then all this makes that we can optimize it, and this makes also the big reduction of the losses as well the volume and well the cost. Shortly about the topologies that two-level voltage source converter seems to be, because of the new wide bandgap devices, still remain as the main topology, because it's a simple, low part count and robust and cost efficient. As well, there are three-level topologies might come up situation to improve system efficiency, especially when the voltage is going up. Cooling technology has been also the one driver for making this happen, smaller size, and also the drives are getting smaller, and also this is enabling the robust solutions, outdoor cabinets and high IP enclosures. And what are maybe the greatest thing there, that this type of two-phase cooling technologies like heat pipes and thermosiphons has been developed from point of view the manufacturing and the cost and materials. So here are examples of what ABB has done. It's called compact thermosiphon. It's called Cotex technology, where we have first products already out of this. Then I don't say too much on this. This is also one clear trend, that the packaging, the drives, motors, and loads. There the big thing is that the loads are, some of the loads and applications, there you get certain real benefit by integrating the motor and drive there. This of course is not what ABB at the moment is doing, but that is clearly the one trend, and especially with the power range up to 20-30 kilowatt. And another thing, of course, which might be from ABB point of view the more interesting, is that the motor and drive physical integration, which enables also the footprint savings. It also, you can rethink the motor and drive interface. Don't have to be necessarily the 3-phase and so on. And then energy efficiency. The converter and the machines are or the motors, you can optimize those. Converter topologies and components, that is the one area to study. And the optimized control of the different applications. And as well the be aware of the standard and directives, and as well the measurement methods and technologies. So these are the 4 areas when we talk about energy efficiency, that what has been considered and further developed. And for example, here we have done a lot of work. There are examples that, for example, synchronous reluctance motor and the drive package with the optimal control, maximum torque per amps will enable the motor and drive package much better efficiency. Virtual prototyping important. And then coming of these highlights that drive standard and directives, they are influencing the technology development. Here we can see the examples. For example, EMC emission limits has boosted the power factor correction technology, research and technology, active rectifier and front-end technology. And what is now the pipeline is the efficiency classes for frequency converter, which is seen that this will bring some new technologies by the time. And also what we see that the patenting of the drives has been increased. So this is a rough figure, but because it's hard to classify exactly what is the drives related patent, but annually there are coming 200 even more today patents related to drives technology. Here are some examples which has been certain years the top ones: PM machines, matrix converters, synchronous reluctance motor control, digital gate drivers, 2-phase cooling. And then a very important aspect is this competence development. So, and there the universities has been are the source to develop the engineers and for the industry. And there we have seen that especially cooperating with university, the research project to create the doctoral exams and train the doctors for use of the industry is very essential. And for example, Karelian and Drives Motor Center, which is the format how ABB Drives is cooperating with the University of the Technology Lappeenranta. There we have done during the years, this is 16, might be even more. Here are some, for example, subjects: permanent magnet, synchronous motor control, and the motors, control of the voltage source, pulse width modulated rectifiers, motion control, energy efficiency, and so on. So what we can see really that how many, this is the statistic from Finland, but annually they are coming now today's, this is average more than 10 doctors for the power electronics. And this means that density of the doctors is increasing among the industry, which is indicating the higher knowledge and competence and boost the development of the new technologies, also in the products. And as we see, market is growing, and all the prediction looks like that. This is the market research prediction that although there was some recession here, looks like that there is a trend to go up. And finally, what we can take to home. So advancement in the technology enables more reliable converters, cost and size reduction, and especially size reduction when it makes sense. At a certain point, we are on the limit. More safe and easy converters, improved efficiency, and this all affect this technology development. That market is growing, more manufacturers, market price erosion, technology protection, IP is getting more important. There is a more need for or creating also this competence development and global. And then of course what we can see as a good side is that the global energy and raw material use is less because of this, so we are getting savings. And so from technology trends, I could summarize that there are many trends because we are talking about multi-technology device, not only one. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Matti. You almost exhausted us. Your power electronics and drives seem to be pushing towards the limits of physics, and the commercial offering is also extremely high. What is actually going to be the next highlight? What is going to happen next?
Yeah, the next. I think we are. I don't expect any radical or big change. I think the development is going more the incremental, that we are getting more reliable and we can improve the efficiency and as well we can reduce the costs. I think these, and of course, but when we're looking at what are the big things, what are the trends, what are bringing, so the user experience, to how to use the frequency converter or engineering and that, and what are the interfaces to do it, that will change. And then the connectivity to this industrial internet and what type of services and the business model that will bring. So those are I would say the big things. And another things, smaller incremental things is these improvements in devices as well for the control. Yeah, but
thank you.
Not big radical change.
I think we could take one short question from the audience. Professor Underland.
Yeah, Tor Underland. I made this Underlandsnubber, which you have used a lot in ABB in Finland for G2 inverters for medium voltage. My question is, I was very impressed by your cooperation with Finnish universities. And it seems also that this cooperation is a lot on control and digital control and these things. My experience is that industry will like to cooperate on power electronics circuits and devices because they keep the control inside the university. So my question is, how do you manage this?
Of course, the one thing is that when this IP and the trade secret are getting more important, and sometimes when you are cooperating with universities, of course, and make these these are the public things. But one thing is that whatever we are making here, we can protect them with the patenting or making the first filing before we make the publication. But of course, this is a difficult thing. We cannot give all the information and the secrets for the universities with all respects. That's a challenge. But the good side is that when we are training these persons, on the doctor level that when they come to work with us, then that is really the boosting, and because they are trained in the subject already very close.
Okay,
Is that the sufficient answer, or did I
let's let Professor Lawrence put one final question.
You didn't mention life cycle costs, and that includes recycling. Technology is changing fast. We have to also recycle machines, power electronics. This is becoming a very major issue as electronics grows. How are you addressing that? That wasn't mentioned in your graphs here.
You're right. It was not here. We whenever you make the new product, we have to also make this kind of environmental declaration documents. We have to explain about what are the materials has been used, how much energy has been used when you are manufacturing the frequency converter, and then you have to also give the instruction how to recycle it. Yeah.
It'll affect the topologies of what we do.
Yes, that's correct, and then reuse the materials and so on.
Okay, we have to close
Point.
this session now. Thank you.